hello. Yes. Ona Indigo here. I'm coming to you live from Oakland, California. And World Electronica is our passion. The project I'm representing is No Accordion, and we're celebrating diversity by amplifying extraordinary voices to create a deeper understanding and connection that promotes equal opportunity for all. We're using love to conquer our unwanted negative battles of the mind by supporting one another with passionate expression to share our authentic creation. We're looking for equal opportunity for all. We want to spark inquiry. We want to raise awareness. We want to encourage mindfulness. So I also want to encourage you all to sign up to our YouTube channel. That's really the best way to stay in touch with this project and keep up to date with the latest developments. Today we're looking at October. This is the month of October. It's the month of Halloween, witches, magic. And we're going to look at this track called Allies, and it features mantras from Krishnamurti schools in India. You can kind of hear them in the background. I'm going to turn it down now. And I'll give you the backstory first on this a little bit. Now, I was a teacher at Oak Grove School in Ojai, California for 8-9 years. I was an art teacher. I taught all forms of studio art, sculpture, painting, printmaking, drawing, experimental, even performance art. And then also I did digital photography and digital design, and I worked a little bit in the garden as well. Now, the tradition of this school, and our school was small, it was only 190 students, but that's from 2-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds. We were about 10 to 16 students per class. And so the seniors that went the year that I actually was chosen to do this trip, because what happens is every year the senior class goes and visits different Krishnamurti schools, sister schools in India. And the year that I went, there were 12 of us, 12 students and 2 teachers. And we stayed there a month. We stayed in 3 different schools and also a botanical sanctuary. Now, the boarding schools, they were all in the countryside. They were vegetarian. They were rural. They had large music and art departments and huge assemblies every day. They liked to chant together. And I took a portable recording device and I sampled the music and the voice lessons, the assemblies, and the rainforest sounds during my visit. I took these samples, and some years later I made an album called Guru Kula, which is a sonic journey collage of my trip there. Now, Allies is not on Guru Kula. It is its own standalone track, but it does feature samples that have also been used on Guru Kula. It's part of the latest album called Surrender. Now I'm going to swap you over. I'm going to show you a few slides from when I was in India. This was one of the views that you could see out from, I think it was the Rishi Valley boarding school. This was definitely at Rishi Valley. This was one of the places that we stayed, and here was one of the ladies that was helping keep it clean. There's a lotus flower, and that was something really beautiful at the Gurukula Botanical Sanctuary. There were also amazing cricket sounds that I recorded and ended up putting them in a track. So this image means a lot to me. Some of the kids at Rishi Valley, you know, some of the children that I ran into in the morning as I was walking to the school. That's the view at one of the schools. I remember going on a pretty amazing hike at that one. Here was a young dancer who joined and was featured at one of the assemblies at Rishi Valley. Here was a little town, the most, urban part we're going to get that's close to where we were staying at. I think this was Rishi Valley. And here's some sacred cows. There are definitely a lot of cows in India, and they are venerated. So I like to speak to the power of chants in general. I've been practicing mantra yoga for many years, and different sounds are through different cultures represent, different chakras or different organs. I've done quite a few different workshops on those things. And they're healing vibrations. And I think one of the reasons they're so healing is the ability of sound to penetrate through flesh and bone. And I'm drawn to these devotional chants. I've been part of quite a lot of kirtans, these repeating sounds, repeating simple, positive messages, seeing singing as a healing and as a meditative practice. What I want to do now is I'm going to switch over to the view where you can see me on the ball, because that's my favorite thing. Please get yourselves a ball. This is the wonderful thing, especially if you have to sit down a lot. And here's the track, so let's play it. Oh, that's quite soothing. Ah, I like that. Ah, so yeah, there's the track. Quite a sweet track, energetic. That was actually inspired by a music producer, Suhan. Now, before I end, I did want to touch a little bit more on the subject matter of allyship. And I want to let you know about some lessons that I've learned over the years, especially during the pandemic. And that is, to be a better ally, you should do your research about the history of the people you want to be a better ally for. Now, I want to be a better ally to people of color. And I discovered over the years that it wasn't enough just to call out racism or agree that it exists. I ended up taking some anti-racist training that was offered during the pandemic online by the Diversity and Resiliency Institute of El Paso, Texas. And it definitely helped open my eyes and become a better ally. During that time, I learned more about POC history, a lot of it that's been kept out of most history books. And I realized more than ever that I was conditioned to be racist at a young age, and I've had to work hard at unprogramming myself and this conditioning that happened. During this process, I've also become much more aware of microaggressions and how to spot them so I can call them out and also stop myself from making any. I also want to be a better ally for queer people. And that may sound strange because I am queer and I am part of the LGBTQ community, but I feel that there are prejudices within communities as well, and that I was conditioned to be transphobic, and that it's taken me time to work through that. And that during this process of becoming a better ally and learning more about the people you want to be a better ally for, be humble, stay curious, be a good listener, and be open-minded and be open to learning something new. So I'm going to ask you all, could you please think of who you want to be a better ally for right now? And what training and what research could really help for you to be a better ally for that person or those people? So I want to thank you. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to put the track in the background a little bit. So that's that track, Allies, that we were just listening to. And I'm going to show the YouTube subscription again. This is the best way to stay in touch with us. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this link to your friends. It's the way you're going to keep up with the latest things we're up to. So next week, we're looking, same October Magic, we're looking at a track called Unana and continuing on the India experience. And this is, sharing a little bit more of what I consider some of the magic or the magical experience of India. So thanks for joining me tonight. I want to thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. All right, goodbye.